Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Jenna. So glad to have you guys here. So I thought today we would just kind of kick back and chat homeschool. If you are someone who just started homeschooling this year because of circumstances in the world, if you are a long-time homeschooler, let me know in the comments below. If you guys have changed up anything this year, what y'all are using, I would love to hear from everybody. So I thought I would just kind of do a quick overview of what we've been using, what I have changed up, if anything, and kind of go from there. So my first, and if you hear noises, it's because we are in the southern areas that are not used to getting this much freezing and snow, and we have like up to our knees snow right now. And people are out like shoveling driveways and stuff today. So anyways, because, you know, they couldn't really do that over the last 2 days because we've been in the single digits / negative degree category. And it warmed up to about 19 degrees today, Fahrenheit. Anyways, so we're going to go over what I use to plan with first. So this is my planner. I am usually an Erin Condren girl. But I went with, this is called the Simple Plan for the Homeschooling Family Planner. And a simple plan you can get through Mardel. So you can go on mardel.com. I'll leave links down below for everything that I'm using and talking about today. I switched over to this one this year because I wanted something a little bit more homeschool centric. I could have used Erin Condren without any problems, but I just wanted to try this out. Plus it is cheaper than Erin Condren, and there are other reasons that I decided to switch. So I did modify this a little bit. I had some sticker paper, for example, and on the pages I didn't think I was going to use, like this is a sticker page that I printed out. I went ahead and went on Etsy and kind of looked for some things that I wanted or that I liked, mainly because although I'm a photographer and I do use Photoshop and am perfectly capable of making these files myself, I didn't want to take the time to do that. When I got this, I was really trying to quickly plan out our year and I wanted it done, and I just didn't want to have to do that myself. So I decided to go the Etsy route and just kind of customize it in Photoshop how I wanted those files. So like, for example, I have a reading log section in here that I added. So like she has several pages like this where it's her reading log. This is one of her few blank ones left. She has a reading list. So reading logs are read alouds because we do read alouds. I get chapter books that I read out loud to her. And she has books that she reads on her own and out loud to me. So I have two separate lists. One is for the ones that I read to her, and one is to keep track of the books that she reads to me. And then just really quickly, and there are flip throughs of this particular planner on YouTube already. So if you want to see details, just search for that after the video and you can see that. The only other thing I really added other than a few extra sticker pages was some tabs, because I wanted specifically, their tab opens up to like this page. And I wanted a quick tab to open up to the monthly view, because this is the one that I use for, this is what I decided to do. Monthly view, I was going to write in the number of days that we have in the school year left. So I started at 180 because that is our one requirement in the state that we're in. I love, love, love the homeschooling laws in my state. The only thing for her grade level that I have to do is make sure she has 180 days. Now, obviously, I've worked at her elementary school. I'm aware, and I have homeschooled before, I'm aware of other requirements, but it just makes things so much less stressful to not have to do specific things or work underneath a charter school or an umbrella school kind of situation. So forgive me if you're in a stricter state. I know that we will probably be in one too in another year or so. So I'm going to enjoy this while I can. So I keep strict track of her attendance. And for my own personal records, and because we move around so much because of my husband's job, I do actually keep detailed like what we do every single day. So on the weekly spreads, what we do that day, I break up into sections. I started doing extras in language, art, math, read aloud time, and morning work. That's how I started these sections out. But then as we got into her main curriculum that we're doing now, I moved it to read aloud, extras, language arts, gather round, math, and morning work. And then as we moved along in the year, I simplified it, and this is what we use now. I just do extras, read aloud, gather round, math, and morning work. So morning work for her is usually cursive. Sometimes she does her math as her morning work, but I still log that under math because I like to just keep it. Either way, we're doing math. She'll do like her typing.com, her typing practice. If she does that, sometimes she gets on ABC Yeah and does like some exercises on there, or ABC Mouse. She still has stuff on there. So FYI, my daughter's 7. She's in 2nd grade. So if that kind of helps put where we're at. And then we use, well, I'll get into the curriculum stuff later, but that's pretty much morning work. Extras is kind of anything like science experiments or field trips or baking things or, you know, stuff like that, like the extra things that aren't necessarily part of her, what I would consider her core curriculum, but are like supplements to it. So that's what I do. There is a section in here where you can plan for the entire year all at once. It looks like this. How I used that, it was as kind of a yearly planner. You can see that I kind of stopped using it here. So I like to get my ideas out on paper, especially at the beginning of the year. And then as we get a rhythm down and I figure out how I want to do things, I don't really use it so much anymore. But it's nice to have. So if I chose to go back to using it, the way I did it was I would plan out about 4 weeks at a time, maybe 3, just depending on where we're at, on where I'd like to see us be. And then I would adjust it as needed. So like if she went way ahead in math, I would then plan for the next 3 or 4 weeks to start where we were at the beginning of that. So say I planned her to get through lesson 16, but she ended up on lesson like 25, then I would just start the next week's on lesson 26 and we would move forward. So that's why I don't do the entirety of the year planning at a time, but I would do about a month at a time in advance, just roughly, and then use it as kind of a guideline of where I'd like to see us. And then of course I kind of feel out how she's doing either way. So my battery died, so I don't really quite know where this is gonna like pick up, but anyways, that is basically how I use the planner. If you have any other questions on this, let me know, but I really enjoy this. I think we will probably use this one again next year. Oh, and then really quick, so how I track her attendance is I got these translucent dots from Erin Condren, and you can get them pretty much anywhere, I think. And then this is how I track her attendance. So I have kind of my key down here. Now if she was absent, there's like a green sheet that you can use for absences. I just like using kind of like the purple, blue, pinks as like a rainbow of she was here. I like that. So I put all of the colors down here for present. And then absent, I haven't even put a key on here because she's never absent. We haven't had any sick days. We don't really leave, like we're self-isolating still. So we haven't had to take off any days. And how I work holidays super fast. We took a week off for Thanksgiving and we took 2 weeks off for Christmas/New Year's. That's it. We don't do Monday holiday, like 1-day holiday type things. If we do, it's still a school day, but if we might, like, instead of doing the main curriculum, we might do some fun activities, watch a documentary, something that has to do with that holiday, but we don't skip school on those days. I believe I have a week planned off for spring. I'd have to look back through. I might not have. I might have skipped spring break too. Just because I like to start early and end early. So we, for example, started our school year on August 10th. And because in our state, the schools start, I think this year they started the 17th or the 24th, something in that line time frame. Usually they start by the 3rd week of August or like no later than. And so I started us on the 10th, which is a little early. I think it was about a week earlier than they intended to start. And we will end somewhere in like the beginning of May. first or second week of May. So that'll be our 180 days. And that's why I do that. I like to have a shorter school year. Now we still do stuff over the summer, but I don't count it as official school. So I probably could, but I don't have to. And so I just don't. So for math, we went with Master Books. This is Math Lessons for Living Education. I started her on level 2. Most of this is where second grade is at. But I will be honest, we are all but 2 lessons from being done, and we have been since December. She went through this so fast. And if she wanted to keep going on a lesson, we just kept going. And so like we would do a week's worth of math in one day, a lot of the time. Like that was kind of how we tackled this book. Now, because of that, she didn't get a lot of like review every single day and repetitiveness to help her really solidify and master those skills as well as I'd like her to. So as of December, I just stopped us short because the last 2 lessons are on, I think, temperature and addition, adding money. So with the decimals. So I'm waiting on those 2 lessons. What I did was I started printing off free math worksheets and using those to really hone in her skills. So I wanted her to be able to add and subtract, carrying over and borrowing, and getting those skills down really well. We're also working on her fractions and recognizing, you know, what fractions are. She was pretty good with that. She started that in first grade, but I just want to kind of solidify that. Measuring, so like measuring cups and measurements as far as volume. We've been doing that. She needs review still on telling time, which she's pretty much got down, but I want to review it with her still. And money. And so that's kind of where we're at. And then this one also goes into like temperatures and bar graphs. We've gotten through all of that except for it does have one more lesson on temperature and then addition of money. And I want her to do that only after she gets the rest of her addition and subtraction down. So we are now on subtraction with up to the 100th place, and how to borrow when needed. And so that's where we're at. I'm going to move her into probably thousands place next, the thousands place, I don't know, maybe in 2 weeks. And then we'll move into other things. So we're almost there, but before I move her on to her 3rd grade book, I really want her to have these skills down without question. She did her addition. She had about, I want to say 2 weeks where she got 100% every single day on her math. And so I don't usually grade things, but I am kind of noting that on her math pages, that when she gets them all correct for several days in a row, it's kind of my sign of, okay, we're going to keep up the skill, but you've got it. So that's what we're doing with math. I have enjoyed Master Books. I like this program. So far, this is working for us. As she gets older and moves into more complicated things, we might change that up. But for right now, thus far, this is what we're using, and we're going to continue to use this. I do already have her 3rd grade book on hand for when we're ready to move on, and we probably will start that before summer. But her summer work for math is going to essentially be learning her times tables. So she might be moving ahead a little faster in math than anything else. Now she does need a little supplementation, I think, in language arts, but I will get into that in a minute. So our main curriculum has been Gather Round Homeschool. Gather Round is amazing. We love, love, love them. This is not, by the way, printed by Gather Round. So they have digital options and they have print book options. I have seen their print books. They are gorgeous. If you want print, I highly recommend that you get it through them. I do not do that for cost reasons. I decided to, for myself, go digital and then print them through an outside company. I use Barnes & Noble Press. There are YouTube videos on how to use them out there as well. I'm not going to try to recreate the wheel. Feel free if you have questions to leave them down below, but I love them. I always get the teacher's guide in hardback and the workbooks in paperback. And the reason for that is, I mean, obviously hardback costs a little bit more, but we will probably reuse the teacher guides because we will recycle this curriculum. The way that it works is it's meant for every like 4 years or so, you start back over with like year 1. So for year 5, it's technically year 1 again, but you're going to be in a different level of workbook. And so it's different aspects, different skills, same topic, but you kind of expand more on that topic. So these books will reuse. I don't need to reprint these every time we come back to space. And so, my thought process was, plus these are like really informative and awesome, and we could totally, I mean, they're gorgeous books. I'm trying to find, here's a good, so they're really pretty. We have not started space. This is our next one. So far, we have done North American birds, which I was not originally very excited to do, but that's the first one my daughter wanted to do. And it was the first one kind of in the series for year 1. And I ended up loving it, and she loved it. It's amazing. We still point out like birds we see. We're like, what's that one? And it's awesome. So it was a really fun one. Then we moved on to Christmas. Then we moved on to Asia, which is a continent study, and we're still on Asia, but we took a break and we did the Christmas unit, and then some other things in there. So this is our next one that we're going to be doing after we finish up Asia, which I think we have like another week to do. And so next we're doing space. So these are the workbooks. So what I have done, and then this is the cursive, there's the continent studies have recipe books too, which is really cool. So like we've been doing a lot of Asian food based on the country that we're studying, which is so cool. And then the cursive book. So she is learning cursive, so I get her this. This is part of her morning work. And then we get into the notebooking and all of that. So this covers every subject except for math. You don't need to supplement it at all. Some people use these as unit studies on top of their regular curriculum. Some people use this as their main curriculum. It is meant to be that, but you can really make it your own. And I haven't really changed a lot other than I don't reference the teacher's guide like word for word. I don't read it out loud to her as much as I used to. We go over the points that I feel are the most important for her to learn at her age, and we kind of skip the rest that, you know, she will come back to this. She will learn more detail later on these subjects. And so I've sort of pared it down, but she does do everything in her workbook. And so anything pertaining to what's in here, I will read to her. If it's extra and it's something that she's interested in learning, we will go down that rabbit trail. If it's not, and she's not interested in learning more about it, then I just move on and we don't even cover that for now. So that's where we're at. Oh, we have a visitor. Hi, do you want to come over and say hi? You have to come over here though. Here, let me move this. Come on. Come over here and say hello. Say hello.
Hi.
This is Maya.
It's Nelly.
Have you been out playing?
I'm gonna go ask if I can have another chocolate.
Yes, you may.
Yay.
All right, I love you.
And I can go see if Ethan's out.
Maybe in a little bit. Let me finish up, okay?
What do you mean in a little bit?
Maybe in a little bit. Let me finish up.
Why, are you gonna talk to Ethan's mom?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi.
Anyway, so Maya.
I'm going.
Okay, well, I love you.
Me too. The dog's running outside the door.
Of course she is. She wants to go play with her friends so bad. Anyway, it has been, like I said, it was down to like single digits and negative degrees here, and we had to take her snow gear away because she will get up before us, put it all on, and go out and try to play. And like we had like this much snow to start with. I mean, now we have like, you know, this much snow, but we had this much to start with, and it was so bitterly cold. It was like scary cold out. I mean, I can handle it if we're bundled up and we have to go out for a minute, that's fine. But like, she will play out there nonstop for hours and not have any regard for how it might not be good for her health to do that. So yeah, we had to kind of take her snow gear for a couple of days. But we're back up to double digits. And like I said, we're in like 19, 20 degrees out now. Yes, that's still really cold, but she can go out and play for a little bit of time. and then come back in. So anyways, she's excited and she wants to go play in the snow like so bad. She loves snow. So yeah, so that's what we've been doing. I have really loved what we've done. I haven't changed a lot. I do plan on adding in some more language arts for her because I feel like she needs more practice with that and needs some leveling with it. We are going to use The Good and the Beautiful has a language arts program that you can get digitally for free online. And so I think that's the route we're going to go for now. And we're going to kind of start it soon, and then I'm going to move that into like part of her summer work. So that's where we're at. And we're probably only going to do that until I feel like she's kind of she's reading more smoothly and has mastered that skill a little bit more, and then we'll drop that and just do this again. So that's where we're at. Where are you guys? What are you all doing? Anyways, let me know in the comments below how things are going. Share what you're using and what you're loving and maybe what you're not loving, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.